Are we up? And are we about ready to start? Tate, are you ready to start? And we're at 1 o'clock? Okay, guys. Happy Monday. Welcome to art class. I'm so happy to see you again today and really excited about this week. We've got lots of fun. I put the supply list out on Saturday. Thank you so much for sharing it and letting people know. I also put the art show up on Saturday. I am so sorry. I tried to get as many pictures of your amazing work as I could, but I could not get everyone's in there. So I will play with it and try a few different solutions for trying to get all your artworks because they are fantastic. And I'm really happy to see them. So I had my little sheet around here. I don't know where I put it. Oh, Tate, what's behind you? Right there. That's the YouTube channel. See if underneath. Oh, right underneath it. Can you hand that to me? Here, come on over here. Here, will you hold this up? That one. Oh, that's YouTube. So if you don't get the lessons, oh, it's upside down. There you go. This is Vanna White all the way around. So if you don't get the lessons on Facebook and you miss them, you can always go to YouTube. It's under my name, Kisa Hausman. And go ahead and submit your artwork. I love you sending it all the different ways. I see it. I respond. I'm so proud of all of y'all. But if you want to include it in the art show, the best format is to send an email. So you can send it to Make Paducah. I feel like we're like selling something or putting signs out, like the people on the side. Mattress sale. So makepaducah@yahoo.com. And just give me permission to share. And I love seeing the pictures of the adults and the kids and everything you show. And then you can share with your family and your friends all the awesome work you've been doing. Okay, let's put our mattress signs down. Mattress sale. Okay. Go put them over there. And okay, are we ready for art to start? We're ready for art to start. High five, high five. High five to you. All right. Today, it's a little bit of welcome to the jungle. So, if you didn't get a hint, we are going wild today. So, we're going to talk about Henri Rousseau. This is a French impressionist, a post-impressionist. He's living in France at the time, kind of hanging with some of his buddies like Picasso, who we've talked about in another lesson. But the cool thing about Rousseau is Rousseau never went to art school. Did you know that? No, he never did. In fact, he kind of worked as a tax collector, customs agent. You know, that when you get your passport stamped and people collect those things. Instead, when he was pretty old, almost my age, he decided to become an artist and he just started drawing. Now, the cool thing is he drew all these amazing jungle scenes, but he never went to see an actual jungle. This is all his imagination. He read children's books. He looked at the illustrations. He talked to people in the army that had traveled down into the tropics. What?
Did he read about jungle books, though?
He read about jungle books?
So it wasn't just about, well, it was his imagination, but he hasn't really been to the real life jungle.
That's right. He hadn't been to the real life jungle, so he read books. He looked at pictures. He talked to people about their travels. And then he went to visit the botanical gardens in Paris and look at amazing plants and different things. So the neat thing is the most important lesson to learn when you're talking about Rousseau is that your imagination is amazing and can be the subject for many pieces of art. So he really inspires us when we're thinking of that. I always want you to draw what you see, but sometimes, I haven't seen a jungle today. I don't think right here. Have you? So, but we're going to draw the jungle so it can be in your imagination. So, Rousseau, you can look up some of his other works. He loved to draw tigers and exotic wildlife like parrots and toucans and flamingos, and some of them are just made up, and the plants are just made up. They're just amazing things. So we're going to take things that you know from real life and like plants you might have found in your yard, and we're going to put together our own jungle landscape based on this particular one. So, are we ready to go? Ready to roll? We're going to put this down here. Now today you should have before you some heavy paper, something you can paint on, it'll hold, or whatever paper you have. You should have some pencils to draw. You should have something to add color. We tend to use watercolors here because it dries very quickly for you, and we're doing this live and trying to get it done. But you can have paints, watercolors, colors, anything you can add a color. You should have some scissors, some glue, and then some actual greenery. You could have walked around your yard or your house and plucked a few leaves from plants that might be in your yard. I did get some notes from someone in northern Canada and somewhere else that's under snow, and I said, if you're under snow and you don't have anything blooming, you can look through catalogs and cut out leaves. You can just cut out leaf shapes from paper too. So what we're going to do is Rousseau loved this surprised tiger. You see how surprised he looks, Tate?
That's weird.
He's like, because his eyes are like this. So we're going to draw just a little bit of that tiger peeking out, and then we're going to draw this toucan up here. So you're going to put your paper in portrait mode, which means it goes up and down like this. And we're going to draw our tiger down here and our toucan up here, and then we're going to create our jungle. So grab your pencils. Turn your paper into... Do you need that back up there, honey? Yeah. Hang on. Let me get this up there. Okay. You got your... And let's start drawing a tiger. So you're going to do yours over there. And what I want you to do is I want you to put a little dot right here. That's going to be the tip of its head. And we're going to draw a shape like this. Almost looks like a boomerang. There you go. Yep. And then we're going to come back up to that point, and we're going to draw a shape out here like this. Basically, we've kind of made a pointy top. So we're going to have that. This is going to be the top of our tiger's head. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to drop down a little bit right here, and we're going to put a circle. So everyone put a circle. So I want you to show. So what we have is we put a point on there, and then we came around and drew a line like this. We came back up to our point. We came around and drew a line like this. We're copying how Rousseau's tiger has this point. Point and comes down, point and comes down. Now remember, he's doing these from imagination. So where we might not have that on a regular tiger, we're using his inspiration. So now we're going to connect this line to this circle right here. And we're going to connect that line to that circle right there. We're going to end up, yep, kind of with this. Good job, Tate. So now we're going to, you ready to add his ears? So here's where your point is, and here's where you come out about halfway. We're going to come in and add an ear. So we're basically doing a teardrop shape right here. Kind of that same pointy right there. So come up to a point, come back down. And we're about halfway between here and here. Good job, Tate. How are y'all doing? So the tiger has 2 ears, so let's give him another ear. Let's come over here, up to that point, and back down, almost if we made a teardrop shape. Remember, we talk about how drawing is made of lots of shapes. So we've got those right there. So we started up here on our point. I'm just going to review. We came down here with this curve like that. We started up here on a point. We came down here. We added our circle, and then we joined those two. We added the ear right here and the ear right here. So now, you see this, Tate? You see how his little nose has that? So we're going to put all the upside down as though you're going to make a triangle right here. So, yep, if we came across, we would make a triangle. And from there, we're going to come down into the circle about that far, not a little bit more than halfway. So we did a V. If we went across here, you can see a triangle shape.
It's a Y.
It looks like a Y. We made a big Y right there. YMCA. So we made a big Y. Now we're going to make the opposite side of the Y. We're going to do that same shape down here as though now it's an upside down Y. Look at almost, if we drew a little head, it does look like a person who could do Y. Right there. So we've got the V here with the line and then the upside down V. Are you starting to see a little bit of a tiger shape? Okay, how's everyone doing? You think we need some eyes? Let's get ready to do some eyes. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to that very first point we started with, and we're going to come down, draw a little line down the middle. Now what I want you to do is I want you to connect that line to your Y. So we're going to draw a line right here and a line right there. Yep. We're making that kind of nose shape on our tiger. Now what's very distinctive about Rousseau's tiger is it has big eyes. So it's super surprised. When you look at it, the eyes are right there and the pupils right in the middle showing surprise. So we're going to put those two circles on either side. Let's give a circle here and a circle there. And we're going to make sure it's, so where's the pupil in the middle? And the iris? Right in the middle. Just, like, oh my goodness, what did I just see? But he's looking at you, so I think the tiger's surprised, like, what did I just see? So we've got our, you can add some detail to your ears right here. We're going to add that. Got our surprised tiger now. Okay. Okay. What? With the head shape? Okay, so let's go over. You want to help? You want to point with me, Tate, to all the things? Where did we start? Right up at the point. We came down and made, it's like a J right here. And then we came back up and we made another, and we made like a J right there. And then we did the circle. Do our circle at the bottom. And then we connected our J lines. Then we did the ears right here. Good job.
And then we did the little stickman in front of the head that has a Y.
That's right. We did the top, this V right here that we turned into a Y. Then upside down right here.
And then we did the top, and then we came down and then did like a...
We drew a line
rhombus.
to the... Like a rhombus. Very good. We drew that, and then...
we did the eye.
And what's important about this eye?
The pupil.
That it's very surprised. That's right, right in front. And then we added the little detail inside the ears. Okay. Now, we don't see all of the lion body, but we see kind of this where it's hunched over like this. So let's go between the two ears. Let's draw that line there. So that's kind of, it's hunched over like that. And then what we're going to do is from the middle, we're going to just draw the body that's going to disappear. We're going to draw a line that comes off like this. So we're preparing for our tiger, for crouching in and looking.
Can you imagine the body?
You can, just because we're going to imagine it, but by the time we get done with our things. So are you ready to do your bird? We're going to do the toucan right here. Yep. Okay. So we're going to go through this, and we'll go through these drawings up here. You ready to do the bird, Tate? Yeah. Okay. Now, on this bird, we're going to draw its head first. Okay? Ready to go? And you can, Tate's using his imagination, which is what Rousseau did too. So we're going to draw a circle for the bird's head right here. So I came up, I put my tiger down here, and I came up to this part of my paper to put my toucan's head. So we're going to put the circle for the head right here. Yeah. And we're going to have this body go off the side of our paper, so it's okay if you go off. And then we're going to draw a big teardrop shape if you did the watercolor bird, you'll kind of remember that this was part, but mine's going off my paper, just so it's as though you're doing that connected to the head. Right there, perfect. So we did the circle first, and then we did a big teardrop shape that we don't see the back of right here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put another circle right here, right underneath and a little bit bigger. Now, if you can, it would continue around like this if we finished our circle. I just let mine stop, but your circle's right there. It's almost like you're building a snowman a little bit. So there's your head circle. Then we've got a big, that's going to be the chest of the bird. It's big and puffed out right here, if you see that. Can you see the photo? So we're big. We've got our circle for our head, then our teardrop for our wing. Is there any glare on there? Can y'all see that okay? And then that big breast right there. So we did the circle for our head, the teardrop for our wing, and the big breast. And we're up above our tiger up here. So now we're just going to carry this part of the circle. We're going to go to the very bottom of the circle, and we're going to mimic this line. We're going to kind of do that same line. So we're going to copy that off. That's going to be our bird's body going off. Okay? Yep, there you go. Now, Tate, what are we missing on the bird? Something really big. Its beak. Now, notice it has its beak. Remember how we look at sizes of things? See how long its beak is? It's almost as long as this. So we have to make a pretty big beak here. So we're going to come up to our top circle, that's our head, and we're going to come up to about right there. You see where we are? And we're going to come out pretty far, about to here. And we're just going to make a big hooked line, almost like if I was making a big circle. Yep, right there is good. So we came to about this top of the circle. We came out, we did a big line like that. And now we're going to bring it back in, almost, not quite to where these meet, but to right there. So we're going to bring that back in like this. So we came, here's our circle to our head. We came down right here, came there, and then underneath, we're going to bring it all the way. We're going to add a second line that comes all the way back, and we're going to hook into there. So I'll go over all this on the bird again before we put the eye. Tate, you want to help me go over the bird? First, we did the circle. Can you show on yours? Demonstrate. We did the circle for the head. Then we did a big teardrop shape that it's okay if it goes off your paper. Right here. Then we did another big circle for the chest, a little bit bigger than the head, like you're building a snowman. So you know how the head's smaller than the bottom of the body? So a little bit bigger. Then we came to the bottom of that circle and we came off the paper. We just made the rest of the body. Then we came up to not quite in the middle, but a little bit right there. If this was a clock, that'd be about 10 o'clock, so, and we came way out. We're looking how big this wing is, way out like a hook, and then we brought it back in to about right there, and then we added that second line in, and we brought right where that snowman head meets, right there. See that? So now we need an eye on our bird. Now, our bird doesn't look surprised, does he? See our bird? Our bird looks like he's just kind of amused. So we're going to put a plain little eye on him.
Are we going to do the other bird and the wing?
No, we're just going to do these two. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little, almost like I'm making a rainbow with one line or an N. A little hook like that, and then I'm going to put a circle right there. So, yep, just like that. Do a line like this. And then put a circle right there. Okay. So how's everyone doing? Talia, let me know if I need to go over any of these instructions. Should we run through them, or is everyone, you got tiger? You may have gone like Tate and started adding all sorts of things to your design, and I love it. I love when I see that you add those things. But we're going to talk about adding our jungle now. Now, remember, Rousseau did not see these plants in real life. He might have seen some things at the botanical garden, or like Tate and I were talking about, he might have seen them in books, pictures in books. But more than likely, these are just, he took what he had heard about and he drew them. So really, what we're going to do is we're going to take plants from your yard and we're going to turn them into your own jungle. So before we do that, we want to add a little bit of color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch from being on here, scale-wise, and Tate and I are going to work on a paper together. Oh, wait, let's add some color first on here. Let's do that. You want to do that? Let's go ahead and add some color to our tiger and our toucan. Okay, so whatever you have color-wise, and I will give you color suggestions, but if some reason you don't have orange, you can always mix orange with yellow and red, or you can use another color. You can decide you want to have a pink tiger. That could be in your imagination. And I am perfectly all right with that. I think that's awesome. So I'm going to take a quick yellow. You have some yellow there, Tate? Some yellow. And I'm just going to cover my whole tiger with yellow. I'm just going to cover him all in. We're just going to get some color on him. And I'm using watercolor paint. You can use anything you want to. I'm just going to get him all yellow. All the way. Got his ears in here. We have, remember this is kind of his neck where he's hunched over. Yeah. Oh, I think we used up most of the yellow of our homemade ones. Are you using that one? Yep. We're going to come along here. Now, because we don't really have a, Tate's added a body, but because we don't have a body, I'm just going to come along here and just let it fade out. You can add those details in later, or we might not see them when we add our jungle. So we're going to get that all yellow. You're looking for, now when you have the homemade, yeah, just add some color, add some water there. Okay, so we're going to get our tiger all yellow. Tate is going to go ahead and start using his imagination. He's going to town on his tiger. So, now while I have my yellow, and I'm letting it set up, I notice that the beak and the chest of the bird is yellow too. So I'm going to add that color there. So I'm going to add my yellow up here. There we go. How's everyone doing? Is your imagination going now? Mr. Henri Rousseau. There's a... So canvases were real expensive 100 years ago, and sometimes they still are. And so what would happen is if an artist that didn't have a lot of experience didn't like his canvas, he would put it up for sale for other artists to paint over. And there's a story that goes that Henri Rousseau, y'all keep painting your yellow. Henri Rousseau had put one of his paintings out in one of those sales. He was new, he was training himself, he never went to art school, and he happened to put it out, and Pablo Picasso came by because he was shopping for some canvases to paint over. I like to think of Picasso just wandering around to a yard sale, getting some canvases to paint over. And Picasso saw one of Rousseau's paintings and said, "Oh my goodness, this is genius," and immediately purposed to go find out where he lived and went and met him. So that's kind of a neat story. I like thinking that Picasso's out shopping at yard sales and Rousseau's putting his paintings in there, even though both their paintings sell for millions and millions of dollars now. But it's neat even to know how these artists interacted, and it makes them real and makes it exciting because you too are artists. So, Tate, can you go ahead and make your beak up here? Can you make your beak on your bird yellow? So we've got that. Now our bird looks like it has a little bit of red or orange that comes down here. So I'm going to add that color in. And while I'm here, I might add a little bit to my beak because I think I will like that. And it looks like it's that way in the painting a little bit. Kind of towards the bottom. Adding a little bit of that. Okay. Now, I'm going to use some black watercolor. If you don't have black paint, that's okay. You can use your pencil. You can use another color. But that's kind of signature to have this black top right here. It's black, and then this wing is black. So we're going to add that in. And again, if you don't have these colors, Tate's giving you examples of ways to take them and be different and add all those things. So, okay. How you feeling? How y'all doing? Oh, that was so southern. You can tell I'm from Kentucky and Texas. So, okay. What I want you to do is we're going to come back to our tiger. We're going to add a little orange, and then let's add our jungle. Let's get into our jungle. Okay? Again, any colors will work. We're going to come in, and on this little section right here, we're going to darken that up with a little orange. We're going to give it some definition right there. And then we're going to cut the edge of his face with our orange and just kind of brush that in. I'm going to highlight his eyes. I know when we're painting like this, when we're painting vertically and up and down, the paint likes to run a little bit. And then I'm going to paint the insides of his ears. I'm going to darken those up a little bit right here. Give those my orange as well. How's everyone doing? I'm adding some orange. Are you going to add some orange to yours? So, you keep going with yours. I'm going to go back to my black so I can darken a few things up, and I'm going to come around where I have lines, and I'm going to add a little bit of black. So, just to give it a little definition. So, and Talia, let me know if we have any questions. And we're going to get ready to jungle it up. I'm going to add a little orange behind him on his body here. Get that a little bit darker. Oh, I'm running a little bit. Okay. How's everyone doing? So we've got our tiger and our toucan, and you all keep painting, and Tate and I are going to get set up to show you how to use the leaves. So Keaton's going to bring the camera a little bit closer. Let us know, sometimes there's a little bit of a glare. I've already prepped a little sheet right here. Tate, you want to come over too, honey? And we've got our scissors. So now, don't worry if you're not done with your tiger or your toucan. We are not going to actually finish this painting in class because there's so much you can do with it. So I want to show you how to proceed and show you how I would go about, and we're going to put Rousseau's painting right here so you can see this, how I would go about this so you could see all these things. So there are a couple ways you could go about this. You could just actually start gluing your jungle on your paper. But I like it. We're going to play with this. Number one, by tracing these leaves, you're going to actually really understand like their shape, which is always a great drawing tool. The other thing is it will help give us dimension. So you should have a variety of leaves. I have some grass right here, so I have long, skinny shapes. Look, there are long, skinny shapes. Can you see that, Keaton, in the camera?
What's that?
Okay. Oh, that's another. See, you could start making up all sorts of animals. Would you like to go draw an imaginary animal on there while I'm working on this? So we've got long, skinny shapes. So what I would do is I would take one of my long, skinny leaves, and I'm going to actually trace it right onto my picture, like this. Now, I use markers so that you can see this on the camera. Normally, I would use a pencil. And I'm going to keep moving that leaf around. And every time I trace it, I'm going to put it in front of or behind. You see how I did that? So I can put this over here and trace this. So I'm going to repeat this. And if you don't have a long, skinny shape, then you just take one of your leaves and you're going to do it right here. You can also, right after the lesson is done, you can go out and see what else you might find because you might think you need a variety. I'm going to trace these leaves going off like this. So now I end up, and you can even draw in some with your own imagination. Now I end up with just a jungle of leaves coming on. So then I'm going to take, let's see, I've got an assortment here. I've got a rose leaf. I wanted to get the whole stem, but there were thorns, so I had to be careful. So I've got a rose leaf with lots of zigzags and a point. That could be really neat. I'm going to lay that on my picture. I've got some kind of bush that was in my yard that has a nice leaf. I'm going to think, it kind of reminds me of this leaf right here a little bit. So I'm going to place that down there and think about that. Then I have these leaves that have I could take them off separately or I could leave them together. And they kind of look like they could come over here. See, we have something like that. Oh, and I have some ivy. So I'm going to take some of these. So now you can start composing your picture where you think some of these leaf shapes might go and then start drawing them in. So I'm going to add this leaf shape right here and then I'm going to double over. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to not go over the tiger's face. Let me draw this and I'll show you what I mean. So see how the tiger's face now becomes part of that leaf. And then I might notice that the leaf has a center, and I might even add some of those lines in there to get some of those details that Rousseau has. And I'm going to continue. So I would continue and fill this space right here, like that. And then I would continue and I'd start with a new leaf and I'd come up here. You can draw these leaves from, you don't have to actually trace them. If you want to make them with your imagination, that would work. If you want to create any of these flowers just with your imagination, you can do that. But this, if you just trace, every time I come to a line I've already drawn, except for the body of the tiger, I'm going to go behind it or in so that I'm not overlapping. And that's going to give us, see how I come behind that leaf right there? And then over here, I have this, which another way is to draw that line in and put those leaves on there like this. Just like that. See, I can see those. And I'm going to cover my picture with these leaf shapes all over. And I'm going to keep going everywhere. So while you're tracing those, I'll continue to talk. Then come back with your greens at any time, and you can paint in your jungle wherever you want to paint it in, using as many shades of green as you can think of. Lush jungle pictures. And you're going to fill in the whole picture. When you're done with filling in all the picture with all the leaves, you can take actual leaves, you can actually glue them onto your picture just using a craft glue. If you need to cut them, you have your scissors, so you can do that. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to fill this whole picture with green. You're going to leave your toucan and your tiger to be seen peering from amongst the jungle. So I'll cover some of these up just so you get the idea, because I want you to be able to work on this. This is going to take longer than our lesson, so I thought maybe if I showed you how to do this, you could continue and start doing this at home. So this is really fun. Sometimes it's fun just to create pictures with the leaves, and you can do it without gluing them down, and it's something to move around. So you're going to fill in, but you're going to paint your picture underneath, trace your leaves, paint in your leaves, and then you're going to come back and fill in your jungle. And then you can glue on any amount of pieces and leaves and things that our surprised tiger and toucan can see from behind. So this is, so you're going to continue doing this. Will take you, hopefully, you can have fun playing with this afternoon and keep going into this. You can add any details you want. Tate added all sorts of imagination over there. You can add magical flowers. You can add additional birds. Whatever you want, you can glue. You want to cover it with the paint first behind, and then you can start gluing on your leaves in and amongst. And you don't have to glue on the leaves. That's just a suggestion. It takes the painting into a dimensional with a collage effect. It gives it that mixed media feel of having different senses. So to touch it, you get to see how that feels, which is really like if you were in a jungle. This looks very lush and touchable. So I hope you've enjoyed learning about Henri Rousseau. I hope you have begun to create the jungle from things that are around you, because that's what Rousseau did. He took what he could touch in his hand, what he could see himself, and he turned it in with his imagination into his own landscapes, his own jungle. And really, that's what's so important about studying this particular artist, because he didn't go to school. He didn't go to training. He just worked on his imagination. So that's what this lesson is really all about. You making your own jungle at home. So enjoy that. If you're in the cold, enjoy cutting some leaves out. If you're where it's sunny, today it's sunny for us. And I hope you like your surprise tiger. I hope you get ready. We're going to be doing butterflies tomorrow. And I recommend, we're going to be doing monarch butterflies, so I have black and yellow paint. But if you are in the mood for a blue butterfly, by all means, bring your blue paint. We'll see you tomorrow. Art is man's nature, and nature is God's art. Bye, guys.